Robinson, we'll begin with you as the incumbent. Please describe one or two of your most significant accomplishments as county sheriff and what is your primary initiatives for the next 4 years.
When I come in as sheriff, it was December 31st of 2018. I actually took place at 4 o'clock that day, which was actually prior. So I worked the first year, which would be the whole season, with no money, no nothing. So I come in, knew the job had to be done, worked it. Throughout the 3 years that I've been sheriff, I've added new radio system, new cars, put all MDTs in all new cars. I come in with 3 deputies. I now have 8 certified road deputies. I still have 1 in the academy. And I've had 6 audits, and all of them has come up to the exact penny. No write-ups in any of my audits.
Thank you. I appreciate those clean audits, always important. Mr. Sizemore, describe one or two of your most important initiatives you'd work to implement as county sheriff.
Well, number 1 would be people skills, being able to communicate with the public. I think that's very important. And number 2, of course, drug addiction. And I think that as far as the people that's on the streets, we need to try to get them help any way possible by working with certain programs. And of course, you know, you got thousands and thousands of syringes which we pick up every day. And I think that you should go to the source, find out where the source of the drugs are coming from, and cut the head off the stink, so to speak. That's my 2 important. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Markham, please describe one or two of your most important initiatives should be elected as county sheriff.
Well, as Mr. Sizemore said, one thing would be people skills. And another thing would be, we've got to come together as a community and work together to solve the drug problem. It goes from across the board, what we have to do to get where we need to be in this town. Everybody helping everybody. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson, what is your record of accomplishment with regard to domestic violence, drug trafficking, criminal trespass, burglary, theft, littering, dumping? That's a laundry list of issues, so take your time on those. Again, domestic violence, drug trafficking, criminal trespassing, burglary, theft, littering, dumping.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that. I actually have it in front of me. Since I've been sheriff for 3 years, we have executed 2,347 warrants of arrest, made 212 driving under the influence related arrests, 1,025 arrests for complaints for drugs and alcohol. Clay County Sheriff's Office responded to 920 automobile accidents without injury, 483 with injury. We've responded to 1,093 domestic violence complaints, 774 reports of intoxicated people. We've done 2,198 traffic stops. We've done a total of 20,462 complaints on all those topics you mentioned, and that's a statistic of 19 calls per day is what we've answered.
This sounds like a lot of activity.
It's a lot of activity.
Mr. Sizemore, plans to improve safety and security with regard to those type of issues of domestic violence and drug trafficking, criminal trespass and burglary and theft and illegal dumping and those things. What are some plans you might have to improve safety and the well-being of the public?
The illegal dumping, I would most definitely be interested in that. Trying to find information on the dumpers.
Yes.
I don't think there's enough being done about it, because you can go right behind them. I mean, they'll throw it out right in front of you.
Okay.
So I think more prosecution would help on that. Domestic violence, I would say it had a lot to do with drugs, alcohol. So they need help. I would try to work with other organizations or programs in trying to get these people help. First of all, I would treat them like a human being, and try to communicate with them instead of someone lesser than myself. I think you can get better results, and maybe they'll get the help they need.
Mr. Markham, plans to improve public safety and well-being regarding the issues of domestic violence, drug trafficking, criminal trespass, burglary, theft, illegal dumping and littering, and those kinds of issues.
Yeah, well, I think on the illegal dumping would be a great thing with, maybe put up like cameras to try to catch them in the dumping spot.
Okay.
To see whom, and then, also, as around the community, if they saw people come there to dump, and then on the drug problem, like you said, you know, the abuse and stuff, which people need somewhere, Clay County has not got enough places like for married women to go, let's say, for instance. They've got, you know, that we need. The county needs a lot of things that we don't have, but I got a lot of other candidates tonight talking this afternoon, talking about what we need to help the county go forward.
Yes.
And I agree with them 100%, you know. First thing we gotta do, we gotta work together. This drug problem is not my problem, your problem, it's all of our problems sitting in here. Some of our families got a drug problem if we, you know, if we look. And what I think is, if we come together and we work strong together and have a staff, like you said, sheriff department staff, everywhere in the county, and everybody treat everybody with most respect,
Yes.
and arrest them with most respect, then I think our county will move forward where it needs to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Round three. Mr. Robinson, what's your philosophy of community policing? And explain how you respond to an incident typically.
As far as you talk about community policing, we are out there, we're, at the ball games, we're at the festivals, we're wherever the community's at, just getting to know and getting a rapport with the community and letting them be able to approach you and tell you what their problem and stuff is. It's a better way to police.
In responsiveness, you indicated some data earlier of 10, 20,000?
We've had.
There's a lot of numbers.
That's about 20,462 total complaints is what we've responded to. And when you make the report to people, they don't care to tell you stuff.
Yes.
They'll talk to you. I mean, when you go to the schools and the kids run up to you and they know you by your name and they want to hug you,
Yes.
you know, we get calls from teachers all the time wanting us to come teach bullying classes to their kids. And those kids grow up and they remember they're in high school now.
Yeah.
They remember when you come to the grade school.
Okay. So you build a relationship.
Build a relationship. That's the best thing you can do is build a relationship with your community.
Thank you. Mr. Southworth, community policing, responsiveness to incidents.
Yes. Well, I got two things I'd like to talk about. Number one is trying to put, you know, you can only do what you can do. I understand that. Been there, done that. 4 years Sheriff's Department, 2005, 2009. I know how it works. So you can do the best you can, that's all you can do. But I would like to put patrols in areas, you know, such as O'Neill, you know, Red. But it's hard because I've seen times where there was only one person out there.
Okay.
And, you know, he has to go from here to here.
Yes.
You know, it's really hard, I understand. Number two, the fire departments. I would like to take and appoint a special deputy in each district fire department because they're the ones that's there on the scene first, more likely, they'll be there first. And so they can hold the fort down, so to speak, until a full-time deputy shows up. I think that would be good.
So you're talking about strategically having deputies in communities,
In fire department.
in the fire
Yes,
department?
of course, they have to pass the drug test, you know, and background check.
Sure.
But I think that would be good for the county.
Mr. Markham, community policing and responsiveness to incidents.
Yeah, I think that we ought to, like you said, Mayor, we ought to get together and, as far as people, Mr. Robson's done a great job of going out and checking on people, make sure everything's going good, you know. You know, I just want to try to make the county better. I've got a 10-year-old kid goes to school down here, and our county is in a bad shape. And it ain't one person to blame, it's a lot of people to blame for it, you know. And I want to come together and make sure, you know, people used to walk tall in this county, a whole lot. And I want to make it get where the county can people walk tall again. That's my whole thing with the situation.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, should you be reelected to the office of county sheriff? Again, you talked about some initiatives earlier and some accomplishments earlier. So as you talk to the voters and constituents, why should you be reelected?
I think I've come along, what brought the office a long way in 4 years by building on to my predecessors' ideas, and I've still got a little bit more to go, that I think that, I can do this community good.
Thank you. Mr. Sizemore, why should you be elected to the office of county sheriff?
I know you've heard this before, but I too have a special set of skills that I would like to offer to Clay County, which I think it would benefit everyone. I'll just end it with that.
Mr. Markham, why should you be elected sheriff of the county?
I think that I've got some plans to work for the county, and I think that I can make the county advance forward where it needs to be.
Does anyone have any rebuttals or anything that to clarify or add to any of the previous earlier statements? Any additions?
No, I just want to say something good.
Yes.
I think the world of Patrick, the deputies, I like them to consider we're all friends.
Yes.
So, I didn't come here to bash anybody or nothing like that. I just came here to express my goals, my plans for the county. And, that's what it's all about, the county, what you can do for the county, the people in the county. Thank you.
Yeah, like you said, it is about the county. It's about our kids. We've got kids growing up in this county, and we've got a lot of problems. And, the first thing to start on the problem is education. I'm real big on education. I went to UK, I was fortunate, you know, and I went to Eastern for a year and a half. And, kids, the more schooling they've got, and the more training, and it starts at home also, guys. Teaching your kids not to do it at home. It starts at home. And, you know, if you work hard and help the community,
Yes.
and everybody, just like I said, it's one thing, you know, the county just do so much. They just got so many deputies, got so much work they can do. And, you know, if the people would come together and help the sheriff's department, let's say, or the county attorney's office, whatever, we would have a stronger and better county. And that's what I want to get out and be skilled, because I do know a lot of people in the county. I was raised at Big Creek, lived down here in town, right down here, and, I just know a lot of people, and a lot of people's got faith in me, and I got a lot of faith in people helping me, so I just want everybody else, thank everybody for the opportunity to get to speak here tonight.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you for coming out this evening and sharing your perspective with us. We appreciate your time. Thank you.